by Mike Shalin June 15, 2018 3:21 a.m. Okay, here we go on another New England Patriots controversy, another one surrounding a suspension of your local heroes. Did Julian Edelman do anything wrong? He apologized to Patriots fans but didn't admit to guilt, after being suspended for using a substance the league thinks is banned, even though it's not. Did he do anything wrong? There are opinions on both sides, ranging from this being an extremely appealable offense to he had it coming because he's probably done other stuff. Analyst and former NFL player Mike Golick used the ESPN airwaves to be the latest to take a shot at the NFL, a league Patriots fans firmly believe is out to get their franchise. "I don't get this one. I don't get it at all," he said on his Tuesday show. "Just take it through your mind. You do a test, they come back and say, you tested positive and you're suspended for 4 games. Really? What did he test positive for? We don't know. There's no way I buy this. There's no conceivable way you can sell me on this one that they don't know what it is, yet they suspended him for 4 games. I mean, how is the union? How have we heard from them? How are they not screaming from the highest mountaintop right now saying, wait a minute, you what? That, to me, is an impossibility." On the other side of the ledger, we give you Bleacher Report's Chris Sims. Julian Edelman is one of the guys that is just through years of conversation here and there, where guys have the conversation. "Hey, you think he's on something?" Those kind of things, he said. When you're asked to be that guy that he was in, that offense, so dependable, so many catches every game, so many routes, run blocking, they usually wear out, said Sims. He was one of the few where I can say, damn, he looks like he's faster on January 9th than he was September 9th. And that was always, a little bit, I think, a red flag for a lot of people in football. Yes, they've been suspect of Julian. Well, see how this one plays out, as Edelman hopes to follow Richard Sherman as a player appealing and winning. Meanwhile, no big deal, but the Pats cancelled the final 2 days of OTAs. No big deal. Coach Bill Belichick has done it before. But this time, there was no Tom Brady and no Rob Gronkowski, which meant questions about them during limited media availability. Besides, no Brady or Gronk, and it's kind of like a tree falling in the forest. Part of that is that there were great things that happened last week, having everyone here, and then Monday they had a team-building activity at Fenway Park that was really good, owner Robert Kraft said. The young players we have here, the free agents, I'm excited about this team. I think we're going to have a lot of fun this year. I understand sometimes people in the media have to work things up a little bit, but I'll just tell you, I and my family are very excited about the upcoming Gronk talk. Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk wrote, per a league source, the Patriots were calling other teams about a possible Gronkowski trade as recently as 3 days before the draft. Coincidentally or not, Gronkowski ended nearly 3 months of uncertainty regarding his future by declaring publicly that he would play in 2018, only 2 days before the draft. It's not known what the Patriots wanted, or whether a deal was actually close. If it was, it never got to the point where Brady made a power play and Kraft made a boss move, literally. The Patriots passed on mobile QB Lamar Jackson, who is already opening eyes at the Ravens camp, every time he runs, in or because most people, especially a quarterback, can't move the way he does, says wide receiver Chris Moore. Adds linebacker CJ Mosley, it's very creative. We don't really know it's going to work until we put it out there. It's been giving us some problems on some of the plays. It's cool just to see the way we can switch things up with quarterbacks. As long as we don't have Joe doing too much running, that's really all that matters. Sox, Yanks steaming ahead heading into play Thursday night. The Red Sox were 47-22, the Yankees 43-20. Both were on pace to win over 100 games, but one of them will win the division and the other will finish second and have to play 1 game to keep that going. Think about it. 1 game against a team double digits behind you during the regular. If it's the Mariners, it appears likely you could get lefty James Paxton. If it's the Astros, who are starting to assert themselves in the division, you could get Justin Verlander. You're at home, but it's 1 game. Scary. Now, we should also mention here the Red Sox won the AL East each of the last 2 years but still lost in the ALDS despite the bye. The Sox swept the woeful Orioles this week, and also won a decision off the field when they were found not to be negligent in the serious injury suffered by a fan at Fenway. Tickets clearly state you assume the risk when you sit in your seat, and the good thing that has come out of these fan injuries is increased protection. You don't want to get hit in the head with a baseball traveling over 100 miles per hour. Speaking of the Orioles, our pal Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic revealed Thursday that both Buck Showalter and Dan Duquette are in peril after the "You can fire the manager and GM, but it's tough to fire a $161 million first baseman Chris Davis with 4 home runs, 15 RBIs and a .454 OPS in 207 at-bats." David Lennon of Newsday tweeted the following Thursday, "Commissioner Rob Manfred said MLB looking at more fan-friendly schedule initiatives for 2019 that will include possible 2-game weekend series. Just Saturday and Sunday, KV speculation the Bruins are reported to be one of the teams in the hunt for Ilya Kovalchuk, who is returning from Russia at age 35. Kovalchuk wants to win. The Bruins are a good team that would get better with this offensive player. This could be something to watch. I've been in contact with Kovalchuk's group," Boston GM Don Sweeney told the Boston Globe. "For obvious reasons, about 230 pounds and still scores goals. He is 35, so you have to factor that in, but he brings a lot to the table. I hope he looks at the Bruins and says, that's a team I'd be interested in." He indicated that, "But until I get a chance to sit with him, I won't know that exactly." If you need a refresher, Kovalchuk, who last played in the NHL in 2012-13, had 417 goals and 816 points in 816 regular games. New Bruins defenseman Urho Vaakanainen after signing a 3-year entry-level contract with the club. "I'm really excited just to get to the camp and show how good I am and try to be at my best every day and just have fun and enjoy. You don't get these opportunities, doesn't happen to every guy, so you just have to try to enjoy it and be at your best when you come to the camp." Barack Obama saluted the Capitals winning the Stanley Cup, tweeting, "Congratulations to the Capitals. This Blackhawks fan knows what it's like to lift that cup, and I'm happy for all the Caps fans who cheer so hard for their team, and for a team that celebrates so hard with its fans." The hockey players tough. Washington's Nicholas Backstrom played the Cup final with multiple finger fractures. Kawi trade talk. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski says the Boston Celtics made a trade proposal for Kawhi Leonard at the NBA trade deadline, and the Spurs not only rejected the offer, they never even counted. Still not sure what's going on for Leonard, but it's hard to imagine San Antonio coach Greg Popovich wanting to go on without his star. Now, if you want to add LeBron James to Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge, we could be talking about something. The cantankerous OK, Dirty Draymond Green wants the world to know how important it was for him to stay in the Bay Area and be a part of a very talented basketball team. "I took less so we could go after KD," he says of Kevin Durant. "I am a student of this game and I study the business side of it and the numbers, where some people don't. They leave it up to their agents to do it." More Durant, who pledges to stay with Golden State. Brownster Myles Garrett says KD broke the league. Talking on a Cleveland radio show, Garrett said, "With KD, you just stick him in, and he scores. You already knew what they had. They were 73-9 before, and you put the second best player in the world on an already all-time great team, and of course you're going to have success, pretty easy success. Anyone can have an off night and they can still find a way to win. If I were him, I would. They never made a move like that in the first place," Garrett said. "I'm too competitive to try and ride on somebody's coattails to get a W, but for him, you might as well stay at the spot you're at now. There's no point in leaving since you've already taken that moniker where HES been called the snake and cupcake and all that. You might as well stay and just keep on winning." Mike Shalin covers Boston pro sports for the New Hampshire Union Leader and Sunday News. His email address is shalinmike@yahoo.com. Patriots, NFL Red Sox, MLB Celtics, NBA Bruins, NHL sports columns.